So weird at as long as I don't let it drop below 2,000 RPM, it'll keep running fine. But when it drops below 2,000 RPM, then it gets into this bog down, bog out mode. Hey, good morning. So I'm back at it again today. Working on the UTV motor. The issue still isn't resolved, of course. So I got another part. I hope will work. And it is this oxygen sensor. So I got a new one. I don't know for sure if that's going to do it, but we've already replaced the fuel filter, cleaned out the fuel tank and the fuel lines. We replaced the fuel injector. We've checked the throttle body is not stuck. Hopefully this fixes it. We'll see. Unfortunately, in the last video I talked about how awesome Massimo support was. And they were for that week, twice. But I'm worried the guy who was helping me is no longer there. I've called and left several messages, sent him emails, sent him links to the video. After 3 weeks, I've kind of given up. I called the tech support line several times, an answering service. I have been able to talk to people, and I've left them messages and explained what was going on, asked somebody to please call me back as soon as possible. So I don't know. I probably need to reach out to the salesman and see if I can get a hold of anybody at the company who really cares about tech support, because that seems to be a problem right now. I'm worried that Raul is no longer there for some reason, and maybe they don't have anybody else, but whatever the reason is very disappointing. I like the product. I like the company up until this very point, and I think that they can redeem themselves for sure, but it's unfortunate that I'm in this situation at the moment. Or they're in this situation. I'm not sure what the deal is. I know they care about their product, so I think it's just a matter of staffing issues or something. Anyway, so the good news is this: Amazon has pretty much all the parts. Once I figured out, and I can put a link if you have this particular model, but Amazon has pretty much all the parts that you need for Massimo. They do a good job of distributing through Amazon. So, pretty much overnight I got that new part that I needed that I'm going to put in today that I'm going to show you. And fingers crossed, prayers said that this will work. Because I really miss having this thing and I've got work to do with it. I really use it a lot. So anyway, hang in there. Hope you enjoyed this video. Welcome to TWC Projects, and let's get back to it. All right, what you probably can't see very well is how I'm wedged in under here. I spent the last 25 minutes trying to get this one screw in. See if I can show you where it is. Absolute bare. Probably the right way would have been to take the whole seat and compartment and a whole bunch of stuff off. I just didn't want to do it, but I did put down this little metal magnetic tray and a light in there so I could see what I was doing and catch the screw each time I dropped it. But I got it in there, so I just need to tighten it down, and then I've got to put the other sensor in place. So I'll do that next. Lots of fun. Can't tell if the screws turn or not. My fingers are kind of numb. It's a little cold out here. It's a bear. Without this compact right angle screwdriver, I would never be able to get that thing out or back in. Alright, so there's a third screw. I'm trying to figure out where it goes. And so I took a picture. You can see it or not on my phone, so I can see up in there. I just can't figure out where that third screw goes. I've forgotten now since I've been in it. It's been a while. I can find two of them. Alright, so I've got the all the screws. I found the other one's kind of hidden back there, and I got that in, and so we're pretty well set with that. Now all I need to do is go over here and replace this guy. Alright, so there's the old one, and here's the new one. I think this looks like an exact fit, so I'm glad, because I didn't really get a chance to check it thoroughly before I pulled the trigger and ordered it, but I thought I remembered it looking just like that, so I'll be glad if that fixes the problem, but I'll also be a little bit irritated that I went to so much trouble of replacing and doing all the other parts. Of course, clearly the fuel injection was a problem. That thing was squirting, and there was particles in the tank you saw in that last video, so that needed to be done anyway, it appears. If it hadn't, so if I hadn't done it, it was going to need to be done sooner or later, but this was a super easy fix. I mean, really, like a 3-minute repair for this part. Everything else took, you know, half an hour, 40 minutes to fiddle around up underneath the engine and get it to work. So anyway, let's buckle things back up and start it up and see what happens. Nervous but excited. Hopefully it works. It's working so far. Alright, I'm going to let it warm up a little bit more, because this is where I was the last time that I thought I had it working. And then as soon as I tried to take off from there, it didn't go, but just dying out. So let's see. It sounds like it's a normal idle now, so we're going to give it another try and see what happens. Fingers crossed. Well, one more try, just for fun. Something's just not right. So weird at as long as I don't let it drop below 2,000 RPM, it'll keep running fine, but when it drops below 2,000 RPM, then it gets into this bog down, bog out mode. That's it. It's something to do with the idle control. So I ordered both those parts. It'll be a bit of work, but we'll get it. All right. So I ordered a couple more parts for the UTV. One of the parts I ordered is this idle air control valve, and it's like I guess a little bit of a solenoid that helps control the airflow once the thing is either in idle or I guess out of idle. If I start it up, you saw I can rev and hold it at 2,000 RPM or above, and it'll stay and it'll go for. I did it for a couple of minutes and it'll just run, no problem. But as soon as I let off and it goes down to the idle mode, and then I try to put it in gear and start to take off again, or even not even put it in gear, just try to rev back up again from that low idle, it stalls right out. So I think it may be that this valve is not opening or closing the way it's supposed to. And I've replaced almost all the other parts. The only other part I have not changed is the airflow temperature sensor, which I bought one of those too, just in case. So if this doesn't work, we'll try that process of elimination. Something's got to work here. And then what I'll probably end up doing is going back and whichever parts I've determined were not a problem, I'll take those back off. I'll keep the new ones in the box so I have them in the future for when they do fail of naturally fail, instead of right now I've just been doing process of elimination. So let's get to it. I just wanted to show you that, and also one other thing. I was able to, as I said a minute ago, I could rev the thing up, and if I kept it revved up, I could go. So I decided I would try to do that, put it, have it in gear, rev it up right away, and then get it up here to the garage as quick as I could. So I had a better place to work now that I can move into now that I've been able to move into the garage. So that worked out well. I'm up here, but of course, wanted to stall out as soon as it came back down from that high rev point. So I wanted to show you something though that I figured out while I was here, because you can see it's very difficult where I've got to go to get up and underneath here. And I just pulled this guy out. This is the old one that I pulled out from back there. But what I wanted to show you was I figured out a better way. I was using this right angle wrench to get down in here because it's so difficult. But then I had this idea that I could use my DeWalt angle drill bit, and then I stuck a screwdriver onto the end of it, and that was the bomb. I was able to get that back in there, and then of course I could hold with my left hand the yellow part there, and my right hand use the screwdriver part to pull it out. and worked like a charm. I mean, I got that thing right out in 30 seconds flat, as opposed to, you know, spending 25 minutes like I did last time trying to get it out, fumbling all over the place. So I thought I'd share that with you too, because to take all this stuff off, to pull the seat up and all the things that have to come off here, it's quite a challenge. But so I'm just trying to avoid taking this whole. That would have been the right thing, and had I known what I know now, I probably would have taken the whole seat system and everything out, and all these covers, so I could get to it. It would have been nice if they just had like 4 screws on the plastic part that covers the engine, and then you could have pulled that right out. And maybe I'll make a rig for that in the future, where I just cut the plastic down on each side and then create a little bolt-on system so that I can remove that in the future if that is something I have to do again. But for now, using that screwdriver worked out pretty well. So I thought I would share that progress with you, since, man, I'm hopeful this is it. I mean, I'm running out of parts to replace here, and it's so close. It wants to run. It just won't stay running. So we'll give that a shot and see what happens. All right, so I replaced the 2 parts that I bought new ones for, and unfortunately that didn't fix it either. But so as I did a little more research, what I found was a good site that showed me how to read the codes from the dash, which basically involved turning the key switch on, off, and then on and waiting. And then you watch and you count the number of times it blinks. So this blinked 10 times, which is equal to 0, your first 0 digit, then once, then twice again. So that was 0, 1, 2, 2. And I was able to look up that code and see that that's typically a low voltage throttle body issue, throttle body sensor issue, which is the one part I haven't been able to find yet. I've replaced everything else, of course, and so now I've found that one part, not on Amazon. I'm going to try Monday calling Massimo again and see if I can get them at least to send me the part. If I get directly to the parts department without tech support, hopefully I can just get the part. If not, I found it online at a place that might be a little shady, so I was a little worried about it, and it wouldn't be here till January 11th. So the piece that I think I was just talking about, the throttle body sensor, is this guy right here, which was the one I just couldn't find the parts for on Amazon or anywhere else, except for this couple of companies, either direct from China if you buy them in bulk, and I didn't want to have to buy 100 of those. I only needed 1. And so that's the one. Also in the description below, I'll make sure I put the link to the website of the guy that I found, and I'll try to repackage a little bit, but I want to make sure I give him credit for the seeing how to read the codes on the through the blinking engine light, basically. So that obviously is hugely helpful. And he also had a chart that showed what those codes meant. And then they weren't as fully descriptive as I wanted. But then once I saw what the description was of the code, I took that and I Googled that, and that's where I found on another site. So maybe I'll put a link to both of those that explain more about that. So I'm becoming a Massimo mechanic without. That wasn't my goal, but it is a project I am learning, and hopefully I get it fixed so that this wasn't a complete waste of time. And I'll have a lot of spare parts on hand ready to go whenever something does break. So that's it. I think maybe I'll end it here. I really, like I said, I wanted to have it with a happy ending, that it was running fine and I'm using it again, but that doesn't look like the case today. So I may just go ahead and have to make this another to be continued video. I'm sorry that you watched all this to find out that I still haven't fixed it. But I promise when I get it fixed, it's going to be a video and it'll be clear that it was fixed so you can see what it was exactly. There's really not much left to replace. I thought, I think I said that last time, but this time for real. So anyway, thank you for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe, please do so. Ring the bell if you want to get noticed when new ones come out, which is try every week. Pretty much is every week. And give a thumbs up if you like it. And hang in there with me. I'm glad you're watching. Thanks for watching TWC Projects. And get out there, fix things, create things, enjoy the great outdoors and God's creation. And be well till the next time I see you. See you again soon.